David Bay here from musculardevelopment.com. I am in Las Vegas wrapping things up from the 2015 NPC USAs, hanging out here with Elvis. Although Elvis looks a lot like Bob Chick, Bob is attending to official NPC and IFBB business as we speak, 11 p.m. Las Vegas time. The man never stops working, so this wrap-up is going to be yours truly. We're going to get right into it, starting with some of our women's divisions and men's physique. Starting with women's bodybuilding, Mary Kane, our heavyweight and overall winner. Women's bodybuilding was down. We had 11 total competitors. We had 12 signed up. One of the girls won her pro card at Masters Nationals. Obviously, no need to be here at the USAs. And even though there was only 11 girls, quality really wasn't there either. A lot of girls with a lot of potential, conditioning not really there. Mary had a good balance of size, decent conditioning. She's definitely going to have to make some improvements moving forward into the IFBB, but lots of potential there. Moving forward to our figure overall winner, Casey Gorman out of your figure class B. It was a tough figure overall. Not as deep as we've seen some of the lineups, not as many figure numbers, but Casey definitely a deserving winner. Walked away with her IFBB pro card against a tough lineup in the overall. Once again, she'll be doing well in the IFBB. Moving forward to the women's physique division, Billy Cavalier, your C-class winner, taking the overall, obviously a pro card. Billy's one of these girls where she'll probably be able to jump into the IFBB and do pretty well as well. A little bit of improvements in conditioning, and she's going to be right there. On to bikini. Bikini here was crazy at the USAs this weekend. A lot of depth in every single class. I mean, if you guys look at the pictures from the call-outs I was posting, there's third, fourth call-outs with girls that look absolutely fantastic. So a really deep lineup. No surprise. Some of these West Coast shows, you get the girls coming in from California, this Vegas area, Arizona, a lot of bikini girls from Colorado as well. So these West Coast shows, you got to bring your A game if you want to walk away, even in the top 5, much less with a pro card. But we did have an overall winner from our D class, Tiffany Urea out of New Jersey, now living in New York. This girl looked absolutely flawless. Physique, presentation, everything. She's a gorgeous girl. Look for her to do big things in the IFBB in a short period of time. She said we might see her a little bit later on in the year at the Atlantic City Europa coming up at the end of August, or maybe as early as the Tampa Pro in just 2 weeks. I know I'm looking forward to seeing her again on stage, and everybody else that's a fan of bikini as well. Moving forward into our men's physique division, you guys following along on the play-by-play, I did some commentary as far as who I really liked when somebody jumped out at me and then did the pictures. If you go back and look, you'll see that I brought up Ahmad De Guzman. The kid's only 20 years old, tiny waist, really good structure, full muscle bellies for a men's physique guy, and just put together really well. So might have to add a little bit of size, improve his conditioning just a hair, but if you can do that and keep that waist and that torso the way it looks right now, he should be doing very well as well. So once again, as expected from the USAs and any other national show, tough divisions all around, but moving forward into the meat and potatoes of this show, the men's bodybuilding, I tell you what, guys, from a media standpoint, from a fan standpoint, it was an awesome weekend here in Las Vegas. Starting off with our bantamweights. Guys, nobody really gets excited about bantamweights. That's the long and short of the bantamweight classes. Mark Sandan, our bantamweight winner, you guys saw him do some posing in the interview. He was absolutely peeled. That guy single-handedly got people excited about the bantamweight class, which isn't easy to do. Walked away with an IFBB pro card. Mark's a natural competitor, said this is it for him. Said he set out to earn a pro card, did what he wanted to do. He's going to hang it up. We know there's a lot of people that go back and forth on that. They need a break, need some rest, and like to get back at it after a little bit of time off. But as I said in the interview to Mark, if this is the way he ends it, ended it on a good note with an IFBB pro card and a very impressive win. Moving forward into our lightweight class, not as competitive as the bantamweights. We had Jeff Homeka walk away with the win. Nice and aesthetic for a lightweight, not quite as peeled as he needed to be to be a contender, maybe at some of the other national level shows, but he was good enough here to get a pro card, and he walks away a winner as well. Moving forward, as we get into our bigger weight classes, stuff got really competitive. Our welterweight class, our third place finisher from nationals last year, Armando Aman, missed his pro card by 1 spot. came here into Las Vegas, brought a really good package of mass and conditioning that's really not usual for the welterweights. He looked really good. Bryant Hernandez and Jerry Foss, two guys I'm not overly familiar with, also brought really good conditioning and good size into the welterweights, rounding out the top three, a really competitive class. The middleweights. I mean, what can we say about the middleweights? This was probably the best middleweight class I've ever seen, and the judges and the spectators and everybody was just raving about the middleweights. Gabe Cortez walks away your winner, a very short, even for a middleweight, a ton of muscle, really good conditioning. He went against a really stacked lineup, really brought his A game, walks away as a new pro. Running out the top three, David Robinson in second place. This guy's, from an aesthetic standpoint, looked absolutely fantastic. He's one of these guys where if he puts on a little bit more size and can improve that conditioning just a little bit, he's going to be walking away not only with a pro card, but he's going to be a contender in that 212 class in a short period of time. Robert Zavala, he won his weight class at North Americans last year, missed his pro card, took third at Nationals last year, missed his pro card by one spot. Was a favorite, or at least a front runner coming into the USAs this weekend. Ran into an extremely competitive middleweight class. Robert rounds out the top three. Robert Wickman also in that top five. And one guy that I was super impressed with, you guys probably saw my comments online, probably got a kick out of how enthusiastic I was, John Jewett. He looked absolutely fantastic from head to toe. Conditioning was second to none. Put him in the lineup, he lost a little bit of ground. Needs a little bit of thickness in his chest and his upper body. His back shots were absolutely lights out, but he's going to need a little bit more thickness once again throughout the chest, shoulders, and arms to roll with some of these top guys. I think I speak for everybody when I say we're really excited to see him in the future, but that just says volumes about just how tough this middleweight class is when a guy like that doesn't even place in top five. I haven't had a chance to look at the scorecards yet. I'm assuming he's going to be in 6th or 7th place. I really can't see him any lower than that. Moving forward into our light heavyweights class, another really, really competitive class. Last year's runner-up, Thomas Lenahan, moves up one spot, walking away with the pro card. Thick quads, really good balance, just a good combination of everything you're looking for in a national level bodybuilder. In second place, Addison Alexander. I've never even heard of this guy before. He came out, I bet if you take a tape measure to this guy's waist, you're talking 27, 28 inches at the most. Absolutely tiny. Big upper body, really good flow to his physique, really good aesthetics. He's going to have to add a little bit more size to his legs and maybe a little bit elsewhere. He is that good. Rounding out the top three, Steve Thayer. This guy, I don't know how he weighed in at light heavyweight. Absolutely huge. Ton of muscle, not the prettiest physique, didn't quite have the lines that some of the other guys had. He came out in the morning almost no color on, looked really grainy and big. I think he probably had some people tell him he needed to get darker. Came out at night, but way too much color on. It was a little bit blotchy. You could tell he rushed it a little bit, but still very impressive as far as a mass and a conditioning standpoint. Again, the light heavyweights, a really tough class, and and it was just really cool to see these guys bring it. Moving forward into the heavyweight division. Cody Montgomery, 3-time teen national champ, won collegiates last year. At the same time, he won his 3rd teen title. Comes in here, a lot of question marks surrounding Cody as to how he was going to stack up against the best in the nation as a 20-year-old. He had a lot of work ahead of him after collegiate and teen wins, and he put in the work, as we all knew Cody would, but the question mark whether it would be enough. And it definitely was. Cody walks away with not only the heavyweight win, but an impressive overall win in a deep lineup here at the USAs. Our second place finisher, former teen national champion or collegiate, Gerald Williams. I didn't even recognize Gerald in the morning. He has a nice beard grown out. Looked like a newcomer to me. He shaves that thing off. He looks probably 15 years younger. Some of you guys will definitely recognize. He looked fantastic. Charles Griffin, in only his 2nd national level show, ton of muscle, needs a little bit more quads. When he turns sideways, his legs look like a draft horse. Guy's got a ton of muscle, should be doing really well. And rounding off our bodybuilding divisions for this weekend here in Las Vegas, John Ward was your favorite coming in. The guy placed 2nd last year to Nick Trigilli in a very, very tight race. They rejudged it at the night show just to make sure they got it right. John was off the mark a little bit. He needed to be razor sharp. He was definitely big. There's no questions about that. John slipped all the way down to 4th place. 3rd place, Eddie Bracamontes. Eddie's one of these guys where when he really dials it in, he's going to be dangerous. And I'm not just talking NPC, I'm talking IFBB. He's got a small waist, wide back, good quads. This guy's just put together really, really well. Sergio Oliveira Jr. coming in second place. A little bit of a surprise. Sergio was off. We haven't really seen him peeled yet. When you saw him by himself, it was like, he missed the mark. He's going to slip down. You put him in that lineup. His mass, those big quads, good posing, carried him a long way. In fact, all the way up into second place. And your first place finisher here in the super heavyweights, Blair Moan. Blair's been knocking on the door for a long time. Been competing nationally for 13 years. I think that ties Bob Ciccarillo's record. Blair's one of these guys always in the top 5. I think maybe he slipped the 7th or 8th once in 13 years he's been competing at a national level. But he's always been knocking on the door. The dig on Blair in the past was he's a little bit blocky, not quite lean enough. He got together with Mike Francois that actually took his training in a different direction, backed away from all the power building movements, all those real heavy movements, was actually able to streamline his physique, and he brought better conditioning, and it was really good to see Blair walk away with the win and a pro card. Humble guy, fan favorite, again, really good to see him win. So that rounds it out, guys. For everybody on the boards and all over the internet saying that these guys aren't bringing it, they brought it here this weekend in Las Vegas. A few misses here and there, but as a whole, the bodybuilders really nailed it. Got the fans, the internet, everybody super excited about bodybuilding again, and I know everybody's going to be looking forward to the North Americans. I believe it's 5 or 6 weeks away, first weekend in September. I think you're going to see a lot of guys here in Las Vegas that came close. Try to get that pro card in Pittsburgh coming up once again in just 5 or 6 weeks, so make sure you keep an eye out on all those guys. I'm sure they'll be announcing it sooner than later on whether they're going to be doing that show. But that is going to do it for us here in Las Vegas. For me and Elvis for MuscularDevelopment.com. We're out. That's a wrap for the 2015 NPC USAs.